guard, number 56, Nick Ortiz. At guard, number 51, Dakota Ditch. At tackle, number 66, Jelani Kierce. At tackle, number 65, Jayton Snavely. At H-back, number 16, Mason Kazmerzak. At wide receiver, number 1, Quaster Kimbrough. At wide receiver, number 4, Dallas Downey. At wide receiver, number 18, Brayson Hurley. At running back, number 0, Franco Biffle. And at quarterback, number 15, A.J. Lassane. The Huskies are coached by Mr. Ben Downey. Here are the starters
boys, we are back.
For your New Prairie
Sorry for
Cougars.
that technical difficulties, folks.
At nose tackle, number 82, Isaac Frunk. At tackle, number 42, Lucas Maupin. At tackle, number 44, Bryce Bell. At linebacker, number 16, Harrison Groves. At linebacker, number 8, Lathan Rhodes. At linebacker, tonight wearing number 0, Hayden Whitenack. At cornerback, number 31, Bo Kamichek. At cornerback, tonight wearing number 1, Keegan Taylor. At safety, number 21, Brock Barsovic. At safety, number 5, Noah Oberle. And at safety, number 4, Hayden Scott. The Cougars are coached by Mr. Casey McKim. Your officials for this evening's game: back judge, Mr. Todd Elias. Line judge, Mr. Raleigh Phil. Umpire, Mr. Craig Fought. Head linesman, Mr. Kyle Madden. And referee, Mr. Dave Brenza.
Okay, go with the keys there, boys.
New Prairie has won the toss and declared.
Tom, your mic is muted.
16, Grayson Hurley receives the kickoff at the 10-yard line. Tackle by number 34, Tanner Mosley. Return of 17 yards to the 27-yard line. St. Joseph will start there, 1st and 10. A.J. Lassaine's pass is complete to number 9, Brady Langeger. Tackle by number 0, Hayden Whitenack. No gain on the play.
Okay, try talking now.
A.J. Lassaine's pass intended for number 18, Grayson Hurley, is incomplete. 4th down and 10 from the 27-yard line. Number 39, Ryder Place in punt formation for the Huskies. Number 1, Keegan Taylor receives the punt at the Cougar 45-yard line. No return on the play. It will be 1st and 10 Cougars from their own 45.
Alrighty, 1st and 10 coming up for the Cougars.
Oh, it is Norman. It's Norman. Yeah, with Eddie Murphy. Let's go, Fred. Put it on the board.
Looking like 2 receivers to the right. Somebody coming in motion. Motioning back across. Oh, fumbles the snap.
Penalty flag on the play.
Oh, penalty.
False start penalty against New Prairie. 5-yard penalty moves the ball to the 40-yard line. It will be 1st down and 15.
Get our hands in there. Let's go.
Cougars looking to turn something around here in this first drive. Obviously, the first play didn't go their way, but now Big Prairie right up the gut up to midfield. So Robinson takes it up right to midfield, and this Cougar offensive attack will take shape here almost into plus territory, tackle down at the 49-yard line.
Let's go. Stay on our block. Call your guy. Lock him out.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 6 here for Reed Robinson and his Cougar attack. To give right up the gut.
Zach Henrich, the ball carrier.
A big-time carry there from Henrich, taking it into plus territory. Henrich a player that had 270
Gain of
rushing yards a
12
year ago
yards
that
to the
led this
39-yard line.
Cougar
Good
team.
enough
He
for
picks
a
up
Cougar.
12
First
here.
and 10.
Do your job, offensive line. Do your job.
Henrik also had 103 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns a week ago on the road against Goshen. So this is a player that you have to be cognizant of if you're this St. Joe's defensive front. Put him in motion, but the keeper goes to Robinson, tries to bounce it out right.
Number
But this
3,
time,
Reed
St. Joe's is able
Robinson,
to
the ball
attack and
carrier.
bring him down. They tried to stretch that play out to that far sideline, and that's a lot of times what happens when you don't go straight forward. You kind of go to the
Loss of 3
side,
yards to the 42-yard
and
line.
loss of 3
Second
on the
down
play
and
down at the
13.
42. This new Prairie offense has been very, very potent, to say the least, in their first 3 contests. 33 points, and then 56 in their most recent game.
Get out there. Get out there. Follow your block.
They're going to keep the ball on the ground and just
Number
slip up
11, Zach
for even
Henrik,
more
the ball
yardage
carrier.
as well. Zach Hemrick with his second carry, he's going to be a focal point in this game. And,
Gain of
Byron,
6
it's
yards
big when
to
you
the
can establish the run,
36-yard
especially
line.
early.
Third down and 7.
Yep, establishing the run in football is very important. It's a very good aspect to the game, and it's something that a lot of teams should want to do.
Third down and 7 coming up for the Cougars, so this will be an interesting play. We saw them get a defensive 3-and-out on the first offensive play for the Huskies. The give goes to Henrik again and gets right
Number
up
11, Zach.
to about the 30-yard line. So we'll see if this is enough to move the sticks and keep this offensive drive alive. About 3.5 minutes gone here in quarter number 1. Neither team has really found their footing just yet offensively, still very early in this game. And Henrik picked up 5, so it'll be a 4th down and 2. We'll see if Robinson wants to keep it or they give it to the back. And it looks like the give does go to Henrik, churning the legs forward. I believe he does get just enough for first down yardage to move the sticks. We'll see what they signal. Early indications, it appears like he did just enough to move the sticks and get that first down yardage. And that's where, if you run the football very effectively early, you can, in essence, wear out the defense and, make it very tough for the opposing team to stop. And that's where it can be, very tough for these guys and demoralizing if you're playing on both sides of the ball. Keeper here, this time it's just less yardage, but still effective. Gain of about 2 or 3. New Prairie coming off a season where they went 10-3 a year ago and 4-1. They were second in the Northern Indiana East-West Conference. Penn was the winner in that a year ago, and New Prairie ended up winning a couple playoff games. They won 3 playoff games before falling to Northwood last year on November 10th by a score of 38-14. But Reed Robinson, the junior quarterback, he is a threat to run and throw as well. He had 2 touchdown passes a year ago. He had a touchdown pass last week and a touchdown run. He's going to pull it down. Thinking about throwing, now he's just going to take off and slip up to about the 20-yard line. So we'll see, how this offense takes shape, Byron. We'll see if they do lean more on the run than the pass. That would be the, odds bet, if you will. But we'll see if they like to mix it up. We have seen it sometimes where even teams that run the football a lot will mix it up and throw it on occasion.
Yeah, definitely. I think they have a really good quarterback, a really talented QB, like you said, who can run and pass. So I think they're going to be mixing it up a little bit. I don't think they're going to just do one thing.
Fake to Henrik. This time it's a keeper to Robinson, and he gets thrown backwards. That play goes nowhere. So the stout stop by St. Joe's, and this sets up, another pivotal play for this offense. And that's what you need if you're the Huskies. You need to just be strong and stout defensively, and that's what we've seen early going, first quarter moving right along. But if you can, force New Prairie into a precarious position like it is right now, you could get the ball back on your second offensive drive and potentially turn it into something. Now 4th and 6 for the Cougars. Deep into plus territory and about the 22-yard line. Robinson, the keeper, now the give to Henrik, and it goes nowhere. not even close to first down yardage. So the Cougars were aggressive, but they were unable to turn that possession into anything. And then it will be a turnover on downs, which sets up the St. Joe's Husky for their second offensive drive. And, Byron, it's kind of been back and forth, at least with these first two defensive possessions. We'll see kind of which defense kind of blinks first, but you have to feel pretty happy about what both squads did in maintaining and containing the opposing offenses.
Yep. Both teams' defenses have been doing a pretty good job, definitely, and getting off the field quickly, too.
And that'll set up St. Joe's with their second offensive possession, led out by quarterback A.J. Lassane. They give right up the gut, a modest pickup of about a yard. And now they have to do similar stuff as well. They're 1-1 on the season, and they lost to Lakeland in their first game, 21-20, a close game, but then beat Fort Wayne Southside by a score of 21-9. So, if their defense, which was strong last week, can be strong this week, you got to figure, hey, they may only need 3 scores. And obviously, you don't target those things going into games, but that could be something that's on the back burner for this team as well. And we'll see how it kind of shapes up as the game starts to shape up. 2 running backs in the formation next to Lassane. 1 receiver flanked out to the left. They're going to run the football again. Second time they've run on this possession, and it goes nowhere. A bunch of gold jerseys thrown to the ground. Another gain of about very little, if anything at all. And so New Prairie kind of pulling a page out of the St. Joe's book defensively and rushing to the ball carrier for a pickup of 0. That's going to set up 3rd down and 9. And we'll see if St. Joe's is a threat to pass. These first 2 plays, they have not been. They have scored 42 points in their first 2 games. So we'll see if they decide to air it out. It looks like they're in the formation to do so. Receiver out wide to the right. Lassane gets the snap. Pressure picked up. He's going to let it rip down the field, and it's incomplete, batted down. Great play there by New Prairie to force the alteration. This is going to bring up the second 3 and out offensively from St. Joe's, who looks out of sync just a bit here. And a lot of credit, Byron, has to go to that Cougar defensive front.
Yeah, the Cougars' front 7 has been all over the place. They've been making stops, making a lot of tackles, and they haven't really been giving St. Joe's a whole lot of room to breathe on this.
And that can be very tough, too, because then if you're a team that, tries to run the football, now you have to set up passes, and that's where it can be very tough to really get anything going. As the punt is retrieved at about the 40-yard line, it was awkwardly retrieved, actually maybe knocked out of bounds at about 39. So that is where Reed Robinson and company will start their second offensive possession here in New Carlisle, Indiana. Tom Hill, Byron Terry here on the call. Fast-paced first quarter, to say the least. New Prairie comes in with a record of 3-0. The St. Joe's Huskies come in with a record of 1-1. Both these teams members of the Northern Indiana East-West Conference. New Prairie second behind Penn a year ago in that conference. It's been a steady diet of runs, to say the least, early in this game from both teams, especially on the New Prairie side in their first offensive possession, where they were able to drive inside the 20-yard line, but St. Joe's was able to get a stop. Now the first play on this drive is a carry up for a few yards, up to about the 43, 44-yard line. And it'll be interesting. Obviously, it's fair to say that the offense will not repeat the 56-0 rout a week ago on the road against Goshen. But this is a team with a lot of really good players, a lot of good receivers and running backs as well. And Reed Robinson, who is a threat to run, they faked the jet sweep on that first play. And let's see what they set up here on 2nd down and 6. They put a man in motion again. But this time it goes absolutely nowhere, as Henrik was the motion man, but Robinson was dropped. So this is another stout play by this St. Joe's Huskies front. And we have seen strong defensive play from both teams in the early going here, Byron.
Definitely, definitely. It's going to be a defensive battle throughout this game. So I think one of the keys is scoring points. Whose defense is going to crack first, like you were talking about earlier. But both these defenses are really good, so the offense has got to pick it up.
Yeah, that was just another play where we've seen a couple of times so far in this first quarter where it feels like when you get the runs stretched to the sideline, and Byron, you could probably speak on this better than me because you played, it makes it easier for the defense to stop because the offensive player is not going forward with the ball. They're going kind of towards the side to try to, cut around the defenders. And oftentimes that, lessens your speed and makes it easier for the defensive players to stop you. And what we just saw there from St. Joe's.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it gets easy for a defense, like you were saying, when they're running side to side. If the defense keeps their leverage and everybody stays where they're supposed to be and, runs their alleys, everybody's in their gaps where they're supposed to be, that can be really hard for an offense.
Yeah, New Prairie is an offense that really wants to run the football. They had 304 total yards on the ground in that 56-0 win last week against Goshen. So this is a team. They also had 7 touchdowns on the ground as well. But just here in the early going, still very early in this game, but both offenses really haven't looked completely in sorts just yet. And to your point, to the point we've been making all broadcast long, which team appears to be the one to blink first? And it's going to be interesting to see who that is. End over and punt. As St. Joe's is able to get the stop that they need on the defensive end. So they will set up shop. Their third offensive possession, quarterback A.J. Lassane. They haven't really looked dialed in just yet. They've scored 42 points in their first 2 contests. So coming off a 4-6 2023 campaign, and almost a quarter gone here in this ball game, and it has been a defensive battle to say the least. The football checked up at about the 28, 29-yard line, and that's where this Husky offense will set up shop. Receiver bottom right on the screen. Lined up on Keegan Taylor for the Cougars. They look that way, and they get it to him. So we very rarely saw this offense attack through the air, but Lassane's able to connect for a minimal pickup, and that's what you have to do in this game against this team. Just matriculate the ball down the field, and if the running hasn't worked, which it hasn't just yet, eventually you have to set up the pass, and that's what you have to do, at least in the early going. A little under a minute to play here in quarter number 1. That was a 7-yard pickup from Jack Keegan. Corner Taylor playing soft, and they get it back to him again. Tackled down at the 43-yard line. So we have seen 2 plays where the passes have worked for St. Joe's. So we'll see if this is now the move after trying to run on the first 2 possessions that went wayward. It's now trickling down in the final seconds of this quarter. You got to figure that is the game plan moving forward. Catches made by the 6-foot receiver in Keegan. And that takes them up near midfield. It moved the sticks, but about the 43, 44-yard line, but still in their own territory, are the Huskies. Lassane gets a snap. Now it's the keeper. They're going to look to the ground game, and that does do something. It gets them about 3 yards. So that'll be something to note as well. The run-pass ratio, it'll be interesting to see how that shapes out in this game. And that's going to be something that I'm sure New Prairie is aware of as well, to try to hem in on their defensive side. Obviously, St. Joe's, it's more about their defensive prowess, at least in the first couple of games, rather than what they've done offensively, though they've scored 42 points as quarter number one appears to be winding towards a halt. 0-0 the score between St. Joe's and New Prairie, in what has been a defensive showing, to say the least. Tom Hill, Byron Terry here on the call. And, Byron, what we've seen in that first quarter was, a lot of defense. It was a lot of, tough offensive possessions where we didn't see either team really get into the flow of the game. And, that's your job as a defender. You shut down, try to, hem in, or at least, make sure that the opposing offense isn't matriculating the ball down the field. But, we have seen right here this third offensive possession from the St. Joe's visiting Huskies. They have pieced it together a lot with the pass, and that's going to be interesting to see as they develop on this drive individually and also as this game progresses into the second quarter.
Mm-hmm. I think St. Joe's is going to have to throw in some more different route combinations as well because the defense can catch on to those hitches a good bit.
The Saint has a ton of time. He's going to let it rip down the field, but the pass falls incomplete. Boy, that was a deep shot with a lot of gold jerseys in the vicinity. So they tried to dial up the home run ball, but to no avail, and it's going to set up a 3rd down and 7. But, early in this game, when the Saint had the protection, Byron, you have to like the shot that he took downfield, and you have to like the aggressiveness too.
For sure. Especially if you have a receiver that's over 6 feet. I don't see a problem with just throwing the ball up there at all.
Yeah, those two almost on the same page, but now it's going to set up a 3rd down. Check that now. Ball into plus territory for the Huskies. As the give goes to the back, but Somsey, we've seen him a few times in this game. There was a flag on the play, so it moved the ball forward on that previous play. But Somsey takes it for about a yard. But now into plus territory. We've seen New Prairie deep into plus territory, but they turned it over on downs. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Huskies do something different here. Traber, the receiver, flanked out wide to the left. They give it to the back, but Somsey again. And he trips up for a pickup of 2. And now a big play again downfield, but it's going to fall incomplete. Again, they tried to take a shot, was my correction, downfield from this Husky offense. And you got to figure, if you keep on stretching the ball down the field, it's got to work eventually. So you got to admire, at least early in this game, that the Huskies aren't afraid to let it fly with Lassane, their QB. Pressure came on that right side from New Prairie. Bryce Bell was in. The pass was almost complete downfield. But that would have been a big-time play to Traber. So just about a minute gone here in this second quarter, as both teams will go to their respective sidelines. No score here in this game. New Prairie Cougars with a record of 3-0. The St. Joe's Huskies with a record of 1-1. Both these teams in the Northern Indiana East-West Conference. Tom Hill, Byron Terry here on the call. Josh Reagan, our producer, live at the site in New Carlisle, Indiana.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
back to the action. Just about a minute gone here in the second quarter. Sets up a big 3rd and 8 for the St. Joe's Huskies here in this game. This defensive battle, to say the least, through the first quarter plus. But a chance for the Huskies to answer. We've seen them air it out a couple times on this possession. It looks like they're going to do the same here. Lassane looking far sideline, and it's hauled in right on that right sideline. And we'll see what the ruling is. It looks like they're going to move the sticks on this play. So another big-time execution there to move the sticks, and it's going to set up another first down. And it appears that this St. Joe's offense, Byron, is really starting to get into their flow, something we didn't see on those first 2 possessions.
Yep. St. Joe's offense is definitely working. They're doing a really good job of throwing the ball and getting the ball to their playmakers out in space. New Prairie was kind of shutting them down in the beginning with their run game and such things, but St. Joe's is definitely picking it up.
Yeah, that last play went to Keegan. We've seen him a couple times here early going. This time they just keep it on the ground and go right up the gut, and this is what you have to do to keep on wearing down this New Prairie defense. And we have seen Lassane, make some pretty good timing and good anticipation throws. They haven't connected on all of them, but you got to figure, if you keep doing that at a pretty high rate, that eventually is going to stick and last in this game. Traver out wide to the left, another receiver out to the right. But Samzi the back, 2nd down and short yardage. Low snap, Lassane handles it, looking right, hits his man in stride, and he's pushed out of bounds. And he's going to get right near, say about the 10-yard line, and just moving the ball right down that field. So another timing throw, another well-executed play, and another instance in where we see them move the sticks, just getting inches and inches closer to that goal line and what would be the first score of the game for both squads. And we've seen a steady diet of both run and pass, but Byron, it has been buoyed mostly by the pass here on this drive.
Definitely. I've noticed that St. Joe's is actually having a lot of tight formations with their receivers, more so like a tight end sort of wingback kind of look as well.
We see another one here out onto the near sideline, and it's hauled in and getting right near the end zone again. So we've seen this team, they know exactly what they're doing. They're moving the football right down the field. They're executing well. It just seems like they're a step ahead of this New Prairie defense. And you had to figure it was going to come at some point from either side in this game. But it's been the visiting St. Joe's Huskies that appear to have found their footing here offensively. As Traber was just a bit shy of the line to gain, but now 1st and 2, the give goes to Batsamzi. He takes it right up the gut. Is he into the end zone for the touchdown? No signal just yet, but we will see. As it appears like he is in for the score in what would give the Huskies an early 6-0 lead. No signal just yet. A flag comes in on the play. So we'll see what the call is here. In all likelihood, obviously, if it's on the offense, it would come back and also put them in a tougher yardage position. But Samzi was definitely in on the play, but the flag was able to thwart it. And check that the play will stand. So it's going to be a touchdown for St. Joe's. Noah Batsamzi punches it in from 2 yards out. And it's going to set up a point after to try to put the icing on the cake and go up 7-0 here in the early going. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up. And it's through. 7-0 Huskies. They're able to matriculate the ball down the field. A lot of that was set up with the passing from the quarterback, A.J. Lassane, and then the senior 5'5" senior running back, Noah Batsamzi, is able to put it in from 2 yards out, and that's how these Huskies go up 7-0 with 9:47 left to play before halftime here in this ball game in New Carlisle, Indiana, the home of the New Prairie Cougars. Tom Mill, Byron Terry here on the call. Reagan Corner Sports Network. Josh Reagan, our producer, live in New Carlisle. Game 4 for New Prairie. Game number 3 for St. Joe's. As the Huskies will send this one on down the other side of the field. And Byron, you got to figure those are the offensive drives that you can look at as something to glean for this Huskies team offensively, because you just did it on both departments. You did it running the football, you did it passing. We have seen Lassane. He has looked very comfortable in the pocket. A lot of that is set up by the offensive line. But if you're New Prairie, a team that scored 56 a week ago, you got to figure, hey, this is your third offensive possession. You didn't look very sharp throughout your first 2, and you could come back and try to tie this one up.
Yeah, New Prairie definitely has to figure it out on offense and defense. St. Joe's was hitting on all cylinders during that last drive, mixing up the run and the pass. Offensive line has been playing really good, and they're just on a roll right now.
And that's where Reed Robinson and the Cougar offense will set up shop after the kick back down to the other side of the field. New Prairie moving left to right on the timeline. They, too, have not looked very sharp offensively. A team that we have seen all season long look very sharp, but still very early, 9:46 mark in this second quarter. And the first carry, the first play of the drive is a carry, just for a pickup of a couple. That's what you need to do, just move the ball down the field to try to set something up, for the rest of this offense. We have seen a lot of Zach Henrik, the running back. We've seen Reed Robinson on some keepers. They have not really broken out the pass the way we didn't really anticipate, because they are a run-first team, to say the least. It's going to be interesting to see how they move and matriculate the ball down the field on this possession. It's another keeper looking for something to develop, and nothing yet, as St. Joe's is there. The reinforcements there on the defensive side, and we have seen a stout defensive front from this Husky squad, and New Prairie's just not able to really go anywhere right now with the football, Byron.
Yeah, their running game has not really been up to par. I think their offense hasn't really been up to par the entire game. For a team that scored, like you said, 56 points last week, St. Joe's defense is really shutting them down. So they definitely got to figure it out. They might have to try something new, but the run game looks like it's not working. They're going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah, Henrik, who had 103 yards on 8.6 yards per carry a week ago. Now Robinson, the keeper, throws it over the middle of the field. And I believe that's an interception for St. Joe's right near the NP at the 50-yard line. And we'll see exactly what the ruling is, as that St. Joe's sideline got up jumping. It was a rushed throw, a hurried throw from Robinson. And we're going to see if they rule that a takeaway. And I believe that we're going to see the ruling here. That looked like a very close play. As you immediately saw that St. Joe's team get up. But it's New Prairie's offense who keeps it right up near midfield. So they get a second sign of life and a first down. And the first carry on this now new drive for the Cougars, about 2 or 3. Kind of a weird looking play there where it looked for a second like it was intercepted, but I believe they might have ruled that it was caught by the receiver for the Cougars. It was a fight and a scrum down to the ground. So now 2nd down and 8, a chance for the Cougars to answer here. The midway point in the second quarter, receiver out wide to the right. Henrik the back. We've seen Robinson on a few keepers here. This possession goes up to about the 45-yard line, so they get into plus territory into this St. Joe's side. But again, we have seen, other than that big play to extend that drive on 3rd down, it was a pretty good timing throw from Robinson and what we thought was an INT. But they were able to move the football down the field and try to get some more yardage as the flag comes in on this play again. Ball right now placed at the 45-yard line, the opposite 45-yard line for this Cougar offense. You know, something that Byron and I have mentioned all broadcast long, 122 points throughout their first 3 games. They're 3-0 on the young season, but they have not looked the part just yet here tonight. Bokamicek, the man in motion, ranging right to left. The keeper goes to Henrik, and he's going to bust his way forward. Check that, Hayden Scott. You know, gets it a little bit closer to that line of scrimmage, but still a ways away. So we'll see what they do here. You know, running down here in this second quarter. Still a lot of time left, though, to turn it into something, but you don't want to give it away without trying to at least turn this into some points, or at least trying to drain some of that clock down. You know, it's a very fine line in what's been a tough offensive first half as of right now for the New Prairie Cougars here at home. As they're going to punt it away, end over end. So it looks like St. Joe's will start this one pinned back deep, as it was a very good punt from New Prairie. And that's where A.J. Lissane and his St. Joe's Huskies offense will set up shop here at the midway point in this second quarter, looking to potentially pad on to an already 7-0 lead in what's been a low-scoring affair between these two Northern Indiana East-West Conference squads. The Cougars do get the ball to start the third quarter, but you obviously don't want to let St. Joe's get down the field again and burn the clock down and potentially lead to a score, which would make it a 2-possession game. 2 running backs in the formation. Lissane gives it to his back, and a decent pickup up to right about the 22-yard line. We'll see if they're going to continue with the run. We saw a lot of the pass on that most recent possession, which led to the score from St. Joe's. Senior running back Noah Batsanzi punched it in from 2 yards out and completed a drive, a very successful drive from St. Joe's, really the first serious offensive drive we've seen from either squad on the night. So we'll see if that is a repeat offense here on this drive. 2nd down and 3 after the pickup of 7. The give goes to Batsanzi as a crease and takes it up the field. St. Joe's coming off of a 21-9 win, a win that was mostly buoyed by their defense. But this game is also kind of following a similar script. But if they are able to keep on matriculating the ball down the field with their offense, this could be something, that bodes well for them, not only in this game, but as the season progresses. And that's going to be big time, especially with some of the throws that we have seen Lissane make in this first half. 2 receivers out wide to the left, 1 in the slot. They send one in motion. Lissane rolling left, looking for his receiver in a diving attempt, but it's incomplete. So he tried to connect to Keegan, a man who's been targeted a lot so far in this first half. But the two not on the same page, and that's going to set up a 2nd down. Lucas Malpin, the linebacker, in on coverage for the Cougars. A rare misstep from Lissane, who has been pretty sharp, to say the least, in this first half. And we'll see if they do something similar here on 2nd down. A little over 4 minutes to play here in quarter number 2. St. Joe's with a 7-0 lead and the ball. Lissane, the snap, looks immediately far sideline, but the ball falls incomplete. Good physical play on the football that time by the Cougars, and it's going to set up a 3rd down and 10. So this is where, if you are St. Joe's, the game script could flip if you have to punt it away, and then it could be tough, because then you're allowing this Cougar offense to get set up on their potential offensive drive after this. So it's going to be big for the St. Joe's Huskies to try to turn around this offensive drive that has gone a bit stale, a little bit more similar to the first 2 in this game. 3 receivers now in the formation, 1 back for Lissane. He gets a snap, But Sami into block. Pressure comes. Lassane's going to let it rip, looking down the middle of the field. Ball looks to be spotted at about the 36-yard line. You know, if you're St. Joe's, you just got to keep on moving the football down the field. And your job is to keep these possessions alive. And that was another timely throw right there from Lassane, hitting his receiver in Traber right over the middle of the field and just getting enough for first down yardage. As now this play, a bit modest, only up to a gain of about 2 or 3. Clock just keeps ticking away here in this second quarter. A 7-0 Huskies lead as they have a chance to tack on and add on even more. The only touchdown from Noah Batsumzi, the senior running back for this squad. Second down and 6 after the 4-yard pickup. Traber out wide to the left. They have a receiver in the slot. They fake it to the back, looking for his man, and it's tipped up into the air and intercepted. The turnover the Cougars need on the deflected play. A turning point in this first half. And it's intercepted by Harrison Groves. So a team that's trailing 7-0, able to get the defensive stop. And Byron, what a big way to get yourself back in this game here in the first half.
Yeah, really good defensive play by New Prairie secondary. Great job, great awareness on seeing where the ball is. The ball got tipped, fell right into the defender's hands. So New Prairie is going to have to capitalize on this next offensive possession.
Now Reed Robinson will set up shop right at about midfield. They fake it to Henrik. He's looking to keep it, but this play goes absolutely nowhere as he gets thrown back deep into his own territory at about the 40-yard line. So that play loses. We'll see with forward progress what they do, but not a successful play after the INT. And for Harrison Groves, he had 109 tackles and 8 sacks that led the team a season ago. And just smart awareness on the deflection from another New Prairie player and trying to set up his offense with very good starting field position at about midfield. But now it's second and very long for the Cougars, and we have some movement here from the offensive line. So this is going to set them back as well. So just costly penalties. It's been a relatively free game, at least up to this point. We haven't seen a ton of penalties, at least up to this point in this second quarter and deep into the second quarter. But boy, Byron, that could be a killer.
Yeah, definitely. It's like they just got the momentum, and then they're starting off a new drive, and everything's supposed to be going good. And then they revert back to the run. It gets stopped, and then the penalties. It's just a lot of just discombobulated stuff going on.
False start called on James Snyder, which pushes his offense back even more yards. As the clock keeps ticking down, just over 2 minutes to play here in quarter number 2, and the New Prairie Cougars down 7-0. They do get the ball to start the third quarter. So not completely in panic mode. And obviously after the most recent INT, they, quietly, we have talked a lot about how St. Joe's defense has played in this game. But New Prairie's defense, besides the drive, which led to the Batsumzi touchdown, they have also been very stout here at home in this first half. It's just that one very key drive from St. Joe's offensively that's the difference in this game up to this point, and why the score is just 7-0. A very fast-moving, low-scoring first half, to say the least. So 7-0 St. Joe's. Tom Hill, Byron Terry here on the call. Cougars come in with a record of 3-0. St. Joe's with a record of 1-1. Still looking to resume action as all the referees and the umpires will conference. I believe about that most recent play. We'll see exactly what happens here. But nonetheless, just to recap this first half so far, it's been a defensive shootout to say the least. The only sign of offense came from St. Joe's early in that second quarter when they were able to drive down the field, march down the field, and punch it in from 2 yards out. A lot of it was set up from the passing from quarterback A.J. Lassane, which then led to the 2-yard rushing touchdown from Noah Batsanzi. And Reed Robinson and this new Prairie Cougars offense has not gotten going to the tune of just 0 points. A team that scored 56 in a win last week and 42 of the 56 coming in the first half. Stark contrast here tonight, but still a lot of football to be played. $7-0 game, home opener for New Prairie. Here in New Carlisle, Indiana. Game number 4 for the Cougars, game number 3 for the St. Joe's Huskies. St. Joe's quarterback A.J. Lassane just threw a costly interception. It's picked off by Harrison Groves, but New Prairie's offense has not been able to turn it into anything just yet. And something that we've seen a lot in this game, the St. Joe's offense or St. Joe's defense has been very stout, to say the least, especially the front seven. You know, we've seen a quiet first half, or a relatively quiet first half, from running back Zach Henrik. And this is a guy who, you know, is a difference maker for this team. He just had 103 yards a week, 3 touchdowns. He also had a big run in that game. So we'll see exactly what they do here. Going plus territory at about the 44. Robinson straight drop back, has time, lets it rip down the field. He has his man, but he overshoots him. Just incomplete. Boy, that could have been the big play the Cougars needed. But St. Joe's is able to get away with it. We've seen that a couple times from both teams in this game where, you know, you try to set up the big play down the field, and streaking was Bo Kamichek, who had his man beat, but Robinson just put it out in front with a little bit too much strength. And Byron, we may look at that as a difference in this game potentially.
Yeah, definitely. He had him wide open down the field, but just couldn't connect with them on the pass.
I believe a timeout is called. New Prairie wanted to go into a hurry-up, but I believe a timeout was called from their sideline, looking to talk things over, you know, draining down the clock here in quarter number 2. We haven't really seen Reed Robinson air it out. You know, last week against Goshen in the 56-0 win, he was 4 for 7, 111 yards, and a touchdown pass. Keegan Taylor had 3 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown. Kamichek, who was just targeted on that last play, had a catch for 20 yards. So this is a team, they don't really like to throw the ball all that much, though, you know, obviously in any game at any level, if the situation is going to present itself, you're going to take that shot. And they did take the shot down the field, but just could not connect. You got to figure, Byron, you know, I'd be remiss if I said that in all likelihood we will see probably a different offense for New Prairie in that second half. A team that has a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, especially running the football, in their quarterback in Robinson and their lead running back in Zach Henrik. So you got to figure that this offense, you know, just probably a little flat to start out. So we'll see how they look in the second half as they go quick here to try to pick up that first down right near the line of scrimmage, or right near the line to gain, rather. We'll see what they do on this possession now, or this play. Because it looks like they're going to be just shy of the line to get. It's right at about the 41.5, 42-yard line. So it's going to set up a big 4th down and 1. They kept it with Groves, the tight end, who had the interception on that last defensive stop, and he was stopped down just a yard shy of the line to gain. So it's going to set up a big 4th and 1. We'll see what they do here. Gotta have it, but halted just for a second. A timeout is called, so we'll see what the Cougars do on offense. And this could be a swing in momentum for this team, because you got to figure if you're able to turn anything into this possession, well, then you get the ball to start the third quarter, and then you can, look to drive and be on the attack in the second half. 7-0 St. Joe's with an early lead as we're kind of dwindling down right near halftime here in this game. Battle of Northern Indiana East-West Conference teams. New Prairie with a record of 3-0. South Bend St. Joe's Huskies with a record of 1-1. Cougars 10-3 a year ago. The St. Joe's Huskies were 4-6. So we're back to the action, 4th down and 1. It's a keeper. Looks like they got just enough to get plus yardage and then some. So a gutsy play call and 4th and 1. New Prairie motioning that they got it. St. Joe's was motioning that he was stopped, as it was a fight for the football, a scrum on the field. We'll see what the end result ends up being. But boy, this could be a pivotal decision in this game and in this first half. And it looks like they did get enough for first down yardage at about the 41-yard line. Boy, that is an interesting spot, as here comes the guy with the yard marker to make sure that they did get just enough. You only need about the nose of the football so it doesn't all have to get over. And we're going to see exactly how they measure it, and they give New Prairie the first down. So just inches past the line to gain at about the 41-yard line. Dwindling down here in the second quarter, and what could be a big offensive drive for New Prairie. So they're able to keep it alive. Henrik the back, Robinson with just him in the backfield. Gets a snap, looking to throw, a lot of time, and now he's going to step up. He's going to take off with his legs, and it gets stuffed right at the 41-yard line, so a gain of about nothing. Good open field tackle there from St. Joe's, and that's what you need to do. Franco Biffle on the stop. And when you see a quarterback ad-lib and scramble, it can be so tough for opposing defenses to try to stop or neutralize, but St. Joe's was able to do that just there. As another timeout is taken on the field by New Prairie. And Tom Hill, Byron, Terry here on the call. Byron, we have seen a very strong defensive showing from St. Joe's here early in this game. And it just feels like when New Prairie has some momentum, they're able to just sniff it out. And, this feels like a game that is going to be kind of won on the backs of their defense, something that they did last week if they're able to hold on.
Definitely. I think St. Joe's team wasn't afraid of New Prairie, being that New Prairie's been scoring a lot of points and stuff like that. Their defense has been playing lights out. They're not afraid, and they're like, hey, let's go. So, again, I think their defense is hitting on all cylinders, and so, whose team is gonna crack first, basically.
Yeah, that'll be the keys to this game, especially as we kind of get closer to halftime here in this first half. But New Prairie looking to just turn this first half into something, I guess salvage it, if you will, as that pass is popped up into the air. And a wild play after the deflection. And we'll see exactly how this gets sorted out as a St. Joe's defender hit the deck. There's a second down play at about the 41-yard line. Pressure did come on the interior from St. Joe's, but Robinson was able to hang it in there, and it was almost intercepted. But a phenomenal tackle by Dakota Anastos for New Prairie. Boy, if he doesn't tackle that St. Joe's player. That could have been an easy pick and a turnover. You know, that right there could also be the difference. Is Zaire Shumanaga almost had it defensively for the Huskies. But it's going to set up a 3rd down and 10. 3 receivers in the formation, 1 out wide to the left, 1 out to the right, and 1 in the slot on the left-hand side. Robinson the snap. Pressure comes on the edges. Robinson hangs in. He's going to let it rip down the field. And it is incomplete, just incomplete. As they tried to dial up a deep shot. We've seen a couple of deep shots in this game, but none that we have really seen them connect on just quite yet. Pressure came on the exterior from the edges of St. Joe's. And a physical play on the football, a phenomenal play as Kamichek had it for a second, but was unable to haul it in. So that'll force New Prairie to punt it away as we're dwindling down here in this second quarter. As it's pinned deep into their own zone of St. Joe's. And we're going to see what AJ Lassane and company do here in this second quarter. Not a lot of time to really work with in what has been a quarter dominated by both defenses. St. Joe's has the edge just a bit, and they lead at 7-0. We've seen phenomenal defense played by the visiting Huskies. We've seen a lot of, defensive stops, a lot of players maintaining their leverage and filling up gaps. We haven't really seen New Prairie run the football the way that they would like to. And that's really the difference in this game, at least up to this point, as to why St. Joe's has the earlier nursing an early 7-0 lead in this game. New Prairie with a record of 3-0 coming into play today. St. Joe's with a record of 1-1. Both these teams are in the Northern Indiana East-West Conference. As both teams will just head onto the sidelines. Just going to knee it down, and that'll take us to halftime in this game. It's been a defensive game, to say the least. 7-0 St. Joe's with the early lead. A game that is just decided by one score as of right now. And Noah Butsomsy, 2-yard touchdown. It was a drive that was capped off a lot from the pass. And this has been a game that, at least in the early going, has been dominated by that road team, mostly defensively. 7-0, you really don't see scores that low at this point in the game. But Tom Hill, Byron Terry here on the call. And Byron, this defensive front for St. Joe's has really been stout, to say the least.
Yeah, that defensive front has been wreaking havoc on New Prairie's quarterback. New Prairie's quarterback hasn't had a lot of time to throw. And on the throws that, he was able to get off, it was a lot of pressure, in the quarterback's face and stuff like that. But St. Joe's defense has just been wreaking havoc on them, just over and over again. As soon as New Prairie gets some momentum going, St. Joe shuts it down.
New Prairie, a team that scored 56 points a week ago in their big 56-0 win on the road against Goshen, and they have been shut out here in the first half here at home. 7-0 St. Joe's the score. Tom Hill, Byron Terry here on Reagan Corner Sports Network. Back after this. after this halftime break.
For Indiana Kentucky apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the bricklayers and allied craft workers for Indiana Kentucky apprenticeship. The best.
Welcome to Prairie Media Day once again for football. I'm with Mr. Snyder. Snyder, how's it going?
It's going good.
Oh, what makes a good offensive line?
Well, you got to be big, tough. You got to play with a lot of speed because you got guys on the other side way faster than you. So you got to be stronger than them. Also, got to play with a lot of intensity.
So what's that feeling when you go to IHOP every Friday night and get those pancakes?
I don't go to the IHOP, but every Friday night after a game, we head out to B-Dubs, get some wings. Those things are good though. I love B-Dubs out there.
So, okay, what's the go-to wing of choice?
Garlic parm boneless wings from B-Dubs. Yep.
So what's the go-to Gatorade or Powerade?
Probably the berry one, zero sugar. Berry zero sugar Gatorade. This is the one I choose. That's my usual. That's what whenever I'm going out, working, or out here, I want to have a berry Gatorade.
So, do you have any superstitions?
No, I don't really believe in superstitions or anything like that.
What is your go-to playlist on a road trip?
I do like country music. I listen to hip hop sometimes, but country music is always my go-to whenever I'm driving, going anywhere far. I just like how I feel whenever I listen to country music.
So, with that split second there on the line, what are some things you can read from what defensive lineman's going to do, or if there's going to be a rush?
I don't know. I can't really read the defense line before the snap, but I feel like my reaction time is pretty good to decide what happens post snap whenever the quarterback's got the ball. I feel like that's one of my advantages.
So, who are you marking down on your calendar?
Pork's definitely getting marked down on my calendar. I can't wait to face them or to get that jug back.
So, tell me a little bit about that jug, because I'm usually at a smaller school like Hebron or South Central.
Yeah. It's just whenever we win a game, we always get it back. Whenever they win a game, they get it back. It's just a prize that we get for winning our rivalry.
So, what is kind of your goals this year, personal and team?
Team goal, I believe we can go I want to go very far in our postseason, maybe even make it to state. We just got to work hard, work together. Personal goals is probably bench 315. On the field, though, probably just work as hard as I can every single day, every single practice, every single game. So I can't no more.
What's your favorite drill out here
Probably a double team drill. I love going out with my guard and working our double teams, just perfecting everything, doing stuff like that.
So, Schneider, thank you for having me out here and coming out here and doing the interview. And good luck in your season. Hopefully, we're out broadcasting for you guys sometime this year.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me on here.
Welcome again to New Prairie Media Day here for football. So, Luke, how's it going? How's it going?
Going good. Our defense obviously is pretty solid. I feel like our offense needs to work. We've all been putting it in the weight room and on the field, so I'm excited for the city scrimmage. I'm excited.
So, kind of going with city scrimmage and all that, we can kind of see a little bit what Fort's going to bring. So, is that a good indication of what next week's going to bring?
Yeah, I think after next week, we'll have a lot more resources. We'll have a lot more, develop a lot more understanding. It's more like game-like experience. I think after next week, we'll be ready for it.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially after guarding Hart. So, Fort doesn't have as much speed as what Michigan State is going to bring.
Yeah, no, I think, especially if we hold up good against Michigan City, I think.
So, what's the go-to Gatorade?
My favorite Gatorade? I'd probably say the blue kind. I like blue Gatorade. It's not bad.
But what's it like to have probably one of the coolest helmets in the state as you're just 20 minutes away from them?
I like them. They're comfortable. They look good. They look good on me. Feel good. Feels nice when you get hit. So I like it. It's nice.
So what is like your favorite celebration after a big hit?
Anything really, man. I just dance. Whatever comes to my mind first, I do it.
So what's kind of the touchdown dance? I know you don't get it that often, but like what's gonna be?
I'm not sure, honestly. Whatever comes to mind, I'll just do it. I'm ready. I'm ready to bust out some celebrations. Yeah.
So would you rather have a sack or a forced fumble? Or both?
I'd like to have both, but if I had to choose one of the other, it'd probably be a forced fumble. If I can come out, I would ball back.
So who is your favorite NFL team?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a favorite team. I have a lot of favorite players. I really like Max Crosby because I'm like the same size as him. I'm like identical to him. But if I had to pick a team, it'd be probably the Raiders. The Raiders, they have good running back, good receiver.
So if you're drafting a fantasy quarterback, who would you draft?
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to see. I've been doing Patrick Mahomes for a long time.
It'd probably be something like that. Josh Allen.
So, what's your favorite part about reading an offense?
I enjoy. I feel good. I feel proud of myself when I'm able to read, make a big play, make a good play. Kind of boost my confidence up, makes me feel good about myself. I like, being able to have trust in myself that I'm able to read and able to make the right decision, at the right time.
So, if you had one question to your teammate, what would it be?
I like to know how much football means to them. I like to have like talks with my teammates. I talk to my teammates a lot about how football is a lot bigger than us. How every game plays a lot bigger than just us, a lot bigger than just the win. It's about a community. Everybody comes together to support us. I'd probably ask about that.
Thank you for coming on and allowing me to come to your guys' practice here.
Thank you for having me.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
Seven nothing St. Joe's. Second half of action almost underway as the kickoff looks to be about set. The New Prairie Cougars will receive the ball to start off quarter number 3. Tom Hill, Byron Terry here on the call. New Prairie has not really looked that settled in offensively in this game. And it has been something to detail. A team that came off a 56-0 win a week ago has just looked stymied by the St. Joe's defense. And it's really been the difference in this game, at least in the first half. Here in New Carlisle, Indiana, the home of the New Prairie High School Cougars. And Byron, we have seen a stout defensive front for St. Joe's here tonight.
Absolutely. Very excited to see what they do in the second half.
But it'll be the New Prairie Cougars that start off offensively. Robinson, the quarterback, Reed Robinson, has not been his usual self. He saw a big week last week where he had over 100 passing yards as well as yards on the ground. He had 57 rushing yards and a touchdown, but he hasn't really done just been a defensive game and a defensive attack in the game plan. The St. Joe's Huskies identity, it's to attack defensively. And that's really where they've kind of, buttered their bread, so to speak. His first couple of plays not able to really do anything, and it's going to set up a 3rd down and 9 in a New Prairie offense that really hasn't really drove the ball down the field with a lot of timing and anticipation. As a carry here, just modest pickup again. They were in the red zone once earlier in this game back in quarter number 1, but it was a turnover on downs, and to that point, they just haven't scored at all yet in this game. And immediately, right out of the halftime break, it's just been kind of futile up at least at this point. And you got to give a lot of praise to this St. Joe's defensive front as the punt will go back and retrieve at about the 20-yard line. So that's where this St. Joe's Huskies offense will set up shop. A.J. Lassane has looked solid so far, although the New Prairie defense has done a good job at least matching or as close to matching the St. Joe's defense as you can here tonight. The difference in this game, the Noah Batsanzi touchdown back early in quarter number 2 on a drive that was really set up by a lot of passing down the field from Lassane. Now, his target of Jack Keegan has been big here tonight. We've seen both teams kind of take their shots, and for St. Joe's, it has worked at a bit of a better clip than it has for New Prairie. But we'll see what St. Joe's does offensively. We have seen them stall out on some offensive drives as well in what has been a game that's kind of been dominated really by both defensive fronts. It's immediately a misplay on 1st down, which sets up 2nd down and 10. Right before that final offensive possession in the first half, Lassane had a pass tipped up into the air and intercepted by Harrison Groves. But New Prairie took a shot downfield offensively. They were unable to really get something brewing. Low snap, but it's handled, and they give it to the back, looking to pick up some tough yardage, and he gets thrown backwards. So 2 straight plays from the St. Joe's offense, and now it's going to set them up in a 3rd down situation. So we've seen New Prairie go 3 and out, and St. Joe's victim potentially of their first 3 and out here in the second half. It has been a common theme so far here tonight. It's been a game really dominated on the defensive side. Lassane has looked a bit more comfortable throwing the football than Robinson, and that has been a bit of a difference in this game. 3 receivers set. He bobbles the snap, looking right. He's going to throw it right, looking for his receiver to haul it in. And it has been, tough for both offenses, but St. Joe's is able to connect and convert and set up a 1st down. And that's what you need, on these big 3rd downs. We've seen a couple 3rd downs, Byron, where it feels like the St. Joe's offense, it feels like they're hemmed in, and then when Lassane needs to make a throw, he's able to.
Yeah, definitely.
Now modest pickup here on 1st down, just trying to matriculate the ball down the field. We've seen, it feels like when St. Joe's, the Huskies offense is in rhythm, we see a steady balance of both pass and run. Now 2nd down and 5 here. We have seen a lot of Noah Batsanzi, the back for this Husky squad, but we also have seen Lassane really let it rip down the field. And when your offense can be 2-dimensional rather than 1-dimensional, it just allows you to do so many different things.
Yeah, it makes things a lot easier when you're able to run and pass the ball. Keeps the defense honest.
It's now going to bring up 3rd down and 5. Something we've been mentioning all broadcast long. New Prairie comes in with a record of 3-0, their first home game of the year. They defeated LaPorte twice, 33-21 and 33-14, and last week defeated Goshen by a score of 56-0. So it has just been a tale of different happenings here tonight offensively for the New Prairie Cougars, but still a lot of game left to be played. And this is where it can be pretty tough. Obviously a team that is used to scoring, used to just marching the ball down the field, they've kind of been punched in the mouth, so to speak. But again, still a lot of game left to be played here tonight. As the second half just underway, 7-0 St. Joe's with a lead. Both defenses, and especially St. Joe's, has looked very stout, but the Huskies have to punt it away after that offensive possession went stale. So the Cougars will set up shop in plus territory right past midfield, and Reed Robinson and company will look to get off the schneid. We've seen a lot of empty possessions. We have seen them drive, though, Byron, and that's where it is the frustrating part, where it feels like you're driving, and then St. Joe's ends up making a big play, or maybe it is a big turnover on downs, or a costly mistake, whether it's penalties or a negative play. And it just feels like this New Prairie offense has been shooting themselves in the foot, if you will, and you got to figure at what point will they start getting going.
Yeah, they've been really inconsistent and just kind of stagnant during the game. Like you were saying, get a lot of momentum and then penalties or something like that. They've been having a lot of setbacks during the game. I don't know if it's scheme, but they're going to have to figure something out if they want to win.
Yeah, it's been a very quiet game for Zach Henrik, the senior running back, who had over 100 yards last week against Goshen in that big 56-0 win. He also had 3 touchdowns as well. But something that we have noted a couple times on this call, St. Joe's is coming off a game against Fort Wayne Southside where they defeated them 21-9, and holding an opposing team to under 10 points. The first week they lost to Lakeland by a score of 21-20. So this is nothing really that new for this defensive front, as New Prairie is looking to just cut into that to try to matriculate the ball down the field and get something going offensively on their end. But it has just been a tough game up to this point for the New Prairie Cougars. And a team that is just, came in scoring 122 points in their first 3 contests. And to be stymied like this, it's got to be a real tough thing to have to stomach. It's just like that, St. Joe's is able to come up with a takeaway. So their first takeaway of the game, and it's going to set them up for their second offensive possession here in the second half. A game just entirely dominated by both defenses, and we've now seen 2 turnovers, one for New Prairie and one for St. Joe's. As quarterback Reed Robinson for the Cougars, Byron, he is just as talented and as productive as he's been so far throughout last season and early this season, but St. Joe's has just kind of made him look out of sorts, and everything just kind of feels flustered right now.
Yeah, St. Joe's defense is definitely stopping them. Their defensive line and their front 7 has been playing well all game.
And that's what allows now, St. Joe's, the defense has kind of set up the offense to now they can have their own identity, as Lassane will let it rip down the field looking for his man, and they just overshot him. So that could have been a big play. We have seen a couple of shots down the field from Lassane, but he hasn't connected on a whole lot of them just yet. A lot of the bread and butter for this Huskies offense has been the intermediate throws. Between 5 and 10 yards. We've seen a lot of Jack Keegan in this game. He was targeted a lot early. But then Lassane has let it rip a couple of times in this game to no avail just yet. You got to figure, if one of those hits, then you get those big chunk plays, which then sets you up in plus territory. So you got to admire the confidence to just let it rip especially with the way the offense has looked, which is, been a bit flat to say the least. Hossein looking down the field. Well, we'll see what the call is here. Again, trying to air it out. Something we've seen this team do a couple of times, numerous times in this game. But not able to connect again, just not quite on the same page. His return is taken up right near midfield. So let's see what Reed Robinson does and his Cougars offense. Looking to just get something brewing here. It has been very, very tough to say the least. Just past midfield here for the Cougars. And a flag flies in on the play. Looks like it'll be on St. Joe's. So New Prairie's offense will move up along the field, and this is kind of where it feels like they can strike and get back into it. It feels like we've been staring, and we have been staring at 7-0 for a while here. Kind of at the midway point here in quarter number 3. 7-0. Cougars trail at about the 34-yard line. They start out this drive. And the first play from scrimmage goes nowhere, gets blown up. So you don't need that if you're the Cougars, but that's something that we have seen a lot from this St. Joe's defensive front. They've been able to really be physical, strong to the ball. We've seen a lot of pressure on the quarterback, Reed Robinson, for New Prairie, and that's kind of allowed St. Joe's to sort of play with a little bit of freedom. And, Byron, just touch on that where, if you feel like there's no downfield threat, it makes it easier to play defense.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think you can do a lot on defense, like you were saying, when there's no really downfield threat. If the defense is really confident in their secondary, they're letting their front seven basically just do all the work and just let them run free.
Robinson escapes for a little bit, but eventually is thrown down at midfield. So right on cue, we see another big-time defensive play from this Huskies defense. And again, time in and time out, we've seen this Cougars offense just, it feels like they're going backwards sometimes. And, that's got to be really tough to keep on feeling like you have to dig yourself out of a hole. Ball spotted down back at the 48-yard line, the own 48-yard line of the Cougars, as they've just been moving backwards. A lot of flag flies in on the play. And it's tough. It's tough because it feels like this game is just getting shorter and shorter with the more that you're unable to get yardage down the field. Now Robinson, a keeper, he's chased from behind, has to create something with his legs and gets forward for a modest pickup. But again, we have seen stout defense from St. Joe's, just hemming everyone in, not letting anybody get downfield to try to, connect on those big chunk plays. The Cougars haven't really all game long. And it has just been tough and tough and tough. And got to give a lot of kudos to this defense from the Huskies, Byron.
Yeah, the Huskies defense has been playing really good the entire game. They haven't given up any big plays, and they've been really solid. Secondary's been playing good. Front seven's been playing good. The defense has just been having a great game.
Yeah, so I've been INT as well, and up 7-0 in this game. You got to figure, dwindling down, probably about 3 minutes to play or 3 and change to play here in quarter number 3, and up 7-0 already. You got to figure, hey, one score could just be the difference in this game, especially with the way they've looked on the defensive side, and they're going to set up shop again. We have seen the offense for the Huskies look a little bit flat. They did have that one touchdown. The only for either squad coming back in that second quarter, early in that second quarter, when Noah Butsumzi punched it in from 2 yards out. It was a drive set up by a lot of passing, something that we have said a lot here on this broadcast. A.J. Lassane, the quarterback for St. Joe's, has had the ability to pass a lot as this first play gets blown dead. We've seen him roll out a lot to the left and then try to find a man. But then that's able to set up the run as well. St. Joe's with a 1-1 record, New Prairie with a 3-0 record. This is New Prairie's first home game of the year. Both these teams play in the Northern Indiana East-West Conference. New Prairie came in second in that very conference a year ago. St. Joe's was just 1-4. They came in fifth. But obviously a different season in store here in 2024. This time that play collapses. And it's going to be pretty tough. Because you got to figure New Prairie did have an interception earlier in this game. So they do have the takeaway, the big-time takeaway, but they just have not done pretty much anything on the offensive side. And that's really been the difference in this game, where St. Joe's has done just enough offensively. And that's why they have a 7-0 lead in which they're nursing. But, if you're the Huskies, you want to drive down the field and try to get something going, because you don't ever have enough points on the board, and especially just a one-score game. It can be the difference between, clinging on or a big-time lead. Let's see the snap. Everyone goes out to try to run their routes. Lassane looking for something to develop. 7-0 St. Joe's looking to strike for more. From what has been a game that has been dominated by both defenses. Both teams have a takeaway. We've seen a strong defensive showing from the front, the St. Joe's front seven, pitching a shutout up to this point, almost 3 quarters down. But it's on their offense to try to matriculate the ball down the field. We've seen them have some opportunities here in this third quarter, but they haven't capitalized just yet. They have been pretty successful on third down, looking to convert. That's at least allowed them the time, or allowed them to buy the time to keep their defense on the sideline. And, a strong unit that only allowed 9 points last week in the 21-9 win against Fort Wayne Southside. So, they gave up a lot of rushing yards a week ago to Javon Irby of Fort Wayne Southside. But tonight, Zach Henrich for the New Prairie Cougars has been hemmed in very well. Reed Robinson, the dual quarterback, has also been hemmed in as well. Pressure comes. Lassane has to get rid of it as it was passed out, quickly hit to the left. So we have seen New Prairie put the heat on Lassane, which is why we still have a 7-0 game as to why St. Joe's has not really ran away with it, to say the least. It's allowed this Cougar team to at least stay in it to the point where, hey, you got to figure, even though the offense hasn't looked good all night long, you're just one big play away from striking back and potentially tying it. And over in punt, New Prairie will get the ball back, looking to create something here on their own offensive end. Something they haven't done all game long, but a team that scored 56 points last week and they've scored 122 points through their first 3 games this week, you got to figure eventually they're going to find the end zone. But with the way this St. Joe's front has played, Byron, it's going to be a lot easier said than done because, the yards that New Prairie, I'm sure, thought they were going to pick up just haven't been there tonight.
Nope. The offensive line has got to play better. Coach has to scheme up something to sort of catch the defense by surprise because what they've been doing, just running the ball and some pass plays here and there, the mixture of it just hasn't been working. St. Joe's front seven has just been wreaking havoc, and there's not really much they've been able to do.
First play is a give that gets decent yardage. And, we have seen a couple of big shots down the field to the receivers. But again, it has been an offense that, wants to play by running the football. That's kind of their identity. It's something that we have seen early in this season from this Cougar squad. But, when that's not working, you got to kind of stretch the ball down the field. And we have seen a couple times where Robinson does have a man down the field. They've just been a bit off, though. And a lot of that, we got to give credit to the St. Joe's front, especially the interior on the edges and then eventually on the interior as well. And also physical plays down the field, in which allowed St. Joe's to really come up and be the stronger team. And again, just like that, an INT. So right on cue, Robinson let it rip, but it was picked off. And this Husky team with another takeaway. They've been pitching a shutout all night long, and they get another one on the defensive side from Robinson. What an unbelievable showing here tonight, Byron.
Yep. St. Joe's defense has been playing big the whole game. If there was an MVP for the game, I think it should be given to the entire defense.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that one. I mean, it is very tough. I mean, a team that scored 56 points in the Cougars a week ago to be just absolutely stymied has been, a stunner to say the least up to this point. And, we'll see what St. Joe's now does on offense, an offense that has also had some issues here against this New Prairie defense that's playing very well as well. So we'll see if they can just get some insurance points, just up 7-0 here in this game. And it's going to be very tough. Now they have the ball back. You got to figure they want to drive down the field to try to put something in, just to feel like there's an ease in the air where, obviously 14-0 is a much different story than 7-0 as quarter number 3 comes to a halt. Still 7-0 St. Joe's. The Huskies on top in a defensive battle here in New Carlisle, Indiana, the home of the New Prairie Cougars. A battle of Northern Indiana East-West Conference rivals. So 7-0 St. Joe's back to the action. Okay, now flip sides. The Huskies moving left to right on the screen. Tom Hill, Byron Terry here on the call. Josh Reagan, our producer, live in New Carlisle, Indiana. We're broadcasting this game remotely. Lassane, quick out here. Something that we've seen on that one drive that really worked for this St. Joe's offense. You know, the intermediary throws in the middle of the field looking for, a receiver to get open, and kind of those quick yardage, easy yardage plays, so to speak. And Byron, you got to figure if the Huskies are able to do that, they can really salt this one away.
Yep, definitely. If the Huskies can score again, they might be able to put this game away for good.
But we have seen New Prairie has been able to stay stout on their defensive side. They also have a takeaway in this game. So it is going to be interesting to see what happens here, as the Huskies are just looking to stay on the attack offensively. They've been on the attack defensively, which, typically you see, offenses attack defenses, especially at the high school level. But in this game, for the visiting St. Joe's Huskies, it's been the opposite, where that defense has really pinned their ears back and attacked the Cougars offensively. And now here in the fourth quarter, a team in the New Prairie Cougars that scored 56 a week ago, they still looking at a 0 here in this game. But St. Joe's offensive possession falls flat, and they're going to pump this one down the field. So again, the Cougars get an opportunity to turn this into something. Or, a couple of opportunities to just try to get something going. Just about 2 minutes gone here in quarter number 4, 7-0 still. So you are in striking distance. And even though you haven't really looked stout offensively, you got to figure that it's close. It's very close. And you're just within one big play, or maybe a chunk play, or maybe you string together multiple plays from turning this possession into something which would either set you up for a potential tie or even an opportunity to take the lead if you want to go for 2, but still have to get there in order to make it happen. We've seen St. Joe's have a couple of turnovers on the defensive side as well, a couple of picks in this game. We have seen a quiet day from Zach Henrik, the running back for New Prairie, a guy who had 270 yards a year ago and also had 103 yards last week and 3 TDs. No TDs for the entire New Prairie team up to this point through 3 quarters plus. It's going to set up second down. Looks like they're kind of tipping their hand at running to try to pick up some tough yardage. We have seen Reed Robinson, quarterback for New Prairie, take some shots in this game, but none have really hit to the zenith of St. Joe's. And even St. Joe's has had some plays where it looked like they can attack and they haven't attacked, and they've done just enough though offensively as to why they have this 7-0 lead. But this is a game that has really been dominated by both defenses, and especially the defenses from the team in white and blue. And Byron, it's got to be so tough as well when you're this New Prairie offense, a team that came into tonight, the first 3 games scored 122 points, and to be stymied still up to this point, it's got to feel like an absolute shocker.
Yeah, I think they're definitely surprised at how well St. Joe's defense is playing against them. St. Joe's was ready. I'm not sure if it's something that they saw on film or they just kind of know what Prairie is going to do, but their defense has been playing lights out. So whether whoever wins the game, I think New Prairie is going to have to definitely go back to the drawing board and figure out what went wrong and why did they all of a sudden go from scoring so many points to being shut out by a defense.
Yeah, and that's going to be something that, we will have to at least try to, make sense of. And still, though, in this game, and as that big play now into plus territory for the Cougars, you got to figure, hey, it's still just 7-0. you could strike here. You could strike and at least make this, or give yourself rather an opportunity to either tie or take the lead. Still some time to be played here in quarter number 4. So not out of the weeds just yet is this St. Joe's defense, a defense that has been showing up and showing out all night long. We've seen a couple of takeaways, and they've done just enough offensively to nurse a 7-0 lead. It feels like I've been saying that a lot on this broadcast, but still the Cougars are in striking distance. You got to really give a lot of credit to their defensive side as well, because if it wasn't for them, this could be a 14 or even 21-0 game. They load the box. The give goes to Henrik. He's been quiet and doesn't pick up a whole lot of yardage there. It's just been tough sledding for this Cougars offense, especially running the football. And when you're a team where your identity is running the football, that can be very, very tough, because that's usually what works for you, and you just can't change that up. But sometimes the way the game script goes, you're going to have to. And they've tried to take their shots, but it just has not worked yet. They haven't really connected yet. And this is where it can be really tough. But now deep into the middle portion of this fourth quarter, still some time left to be played. So that pass is right near the far sideline. This is going to set up a punt from New Prairie, another offensive drive that stalls out. This is where it can be danger zone, but it goes into the end zone, so nothing to fear on that punt from St. Joe's. So they will take over on their offensive possession with about 7 minutes to play here in quarter number 4. Got to figure, if they just string together yards.
For Indiana Kentucky apprenticeship. That's right. This is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana Kentucky apprenticeship.
The Saintlets have ripped down the field back to the action. Right down that near sideline. Not a lot of room to work with. They tried to dial up a shot. It is kind of interesting. We don't really see that if you're trying to salt things away, and especially with the St. Joe's offense, a team that, has really worked a lot better in the intermediate throws for Lasagne. We've seen Jack Keegan, the receiver, junior 6-footer, has been targeted quite a bit. See a lot of passing formations from this St. Joe's offense. But we have seen the only touchdown of the night in Noah Batsomzi 2-yard score back early in the second quarter. Flag flies in, and this sets St. Joe's all the way back, way back. This is where it can be tough, because if you're the defense of New Prairie, you could really pin them back and maybe create some chaos here. So this is where the snaps have to be good. This is where the plays have to be good, and obviously the play calling as well. Everything has to be sharp at any point, but especially if you're trying to salt away the game. Lassina, 2 running backs in the formation with him, but he's just going to keep it and bounce to the left. I think the biggest thing, Byron, right now, if you're St. Joe's, is try to move this drive along and keep on churning on that clock, and then eventually, slowly but surely, you can, put this game on ice.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're going to have to get at least 2 more first downs, maybe 3, but they definitely just got to keep, going away at it, keep chopping wood, and run the clock down, get to the 2-minute warning, and probably get 1 more first down, and that might be it. Or even score a touchdown if they don't want to just run the clock out. If they score, that could probably be the end of the game with the way that their defense is playing.
The give goes to the back. He gets decent yardage. That's what you want to do, under 6 here in this game, in a game that was dominated a lot by your defense. You don't want to have that be spoiled if New Prairie is able to come up with an offensive score of their own. But it just feels like this offense for St. Joe's has just been unable to really get anything going, as they're going to punt it downfield again, right near midfield. Takes a bit of a St. Joe's bounce, but still at the 43-yard line. So good starting field position for the Cougars. Reed Robinson has had a couple of picks tonight. They have 0 points on the evening. A team that came in 3-0. They scored 122 points over the course of their first 3 games. 56 of those 122 coming last week in a dominant road victory against Goshen. New Prairie, 10-3 a year ago. They were 4-1 in this Northern Indiana East-West Conference. St. Joe's also in the conference as well. Keeper for Robinson, and he gets thrown to the ground, something we've seen all night long. Back at the 36-yard line, another big play for St. Joe's. And it just feels like that no matter the situation or the time and down and distance, it feels like this New Prairie offense has just been kind of grounded to a standstill. They just have not really gotten anything going, and now it's going to set up a 2nd and long. Robinson has time, hangs in the pocket, lets it rip downfield. And a big play as they tried to dial up the shot. There was enough protection there for Robinson to at least hang in and try to turn that into something. But it's going to set up another play coming here for New Prairie. Robinson, keeper, now trails back, looking to throw. He's going to let it rip down the far sideline. And a jump ball. Something that has not really worked for them all game long. That pass was intended for Henrik, the running back, who flanked out wide as a wide receiver looking to haul it in. Ball still up at about the 39-yard line. You've seen time in and time out where this New Prairie offense is just unable to really get anything going, as they're going to punt it downfield again. So 7-0 St. Joe's, a chance to salt this one away. We've said that a lot on this broadcast, where it feels like they've had that opportunity to take the ball down the field and just, put the game on ice, and they just quite have not done so just yet, which has allowed this Cougars team to stay in it. But St. Joe's, feels like whenever they need a defensive stop, whenever they need a takeaway, whenever they need something to go their way defensively, they get it because they've been able to really make it happen all night long. And Byron, to your point, it feels like if you were to give quote-unquote game balls out to anyone, it would be that entire defensive unit for the St. Joe's Huskies.
Yeah, that team, or I'm sorry, that defense definitely is the MVP of the game.
And this might be exactly what they need as into plus territory tackled down at the 46-yard line. So a big carry. We haven't really seen a whole lot from this South Bend St. Joseph squad offensively, but that's exactly what you want there, a big pickup to take it into plus territory. And this is where, now it feels like stuff can really set in if you're New Prairie. But we have refs converging here to see what a call is going to be. Right now, the ball is placed at the 48-yard line. So I believe it's a face mask call on the offense, which is going to push the football way back. And that is a killer right there. It's that big play, and a play where you actually had momentum is going to be erased. Ball placed at about the 36-yard line. Still in decent territory are the Huskies to try to get something going. It's more about running the clock out at this rate than, doing anything fancy or spectacular to try to lose it. Listening the snap, the give goes back to Butsonzi. He had the touchdown earlier in this game, the only touchdown for either squad, but he gets stuffed here after his big run was thwarted because of the penalty. But St. Joe's just doing what they have to do to drain the clock down. And Byron, you got to feel like with the way their defense has played all night long, you got to figure they don't feel almost as if they have to rush the football down the field, because they feel as if, in a weird way, even if they turn the ball over, you have so much confidence in your defense to at least get a stop on their end.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like their offense is playing with a sense of urgency right now, but not at the same time, because it's not really too much of a worry for them, considering that their defense is doing so well.
It's really
I'm sure their defense is tired, though. I'm sure their defense is definitely tired from performing so well throughout the game.
And at this rate, you got to figure that, you just want to get those tough yardages to try to, keep on pushing the clock down the field and making it a lot tougher for New Prairie to try to come back. But we have seen a couple of different times in this game where they've given New Prairie an ability to stay in this game offensively. And it's just, this Cougars squad is not really taking advantage of it, at least just yet. This is going to be a big play here. Hussein has been good with the intermediate throws all game long. Rolling left, freezing for a little, and now the give goes to the back, but he gets thrown backwards. So they tried a bit of a quasi draw play, but it didn't work. It looks like they're going to have to pump this one away. So about 2.5 to go here in this game. New Prairie will get another crack at it. At least that's what it appears to look like here. All you need is an opportunity, especially an offense that is just a week removed from dropping 56 on the road against Goshen, to the tune of 7 rushing touchdowns. 3 from Henrik, 2 from Hayden Scott, 1 from Robinson, and 1 from Aiden Buchanan as well. But it's just been a completely different ballgame here tonight at home for New Prairie, down 7-0. But they will get an opportunity to try to strike and score. As the punt goes back down to the other side of the field, and New Prairie will have a long way to traverse to try to get going here offensively. Seen a couple of turnovers from the quarterback, Reed Robinson. We have seen just a stout defensive front from St. Joe's. As the Huskies have brought the heat, they brought the heat on both quarterback and running back. A lot of those design runs from Robinson are really not going anywhere. And it can make your offense very limited. When it works, but when it doesn't work, it could look a little bit like this and have its limitations. And the Huskies have been able to really show that here tonight. They have played a banner game, especially this defensive unit, as they pass downfield, but it's incomplete, looking to take a shot for Henrik. And we have seen Robinson dial it in this game, especially here in the second half, and you have to with the way the game has gone, but it's going to set up now 2nd down. Receiver out wide to the left. Henrik the back, Robinson the keeper. Going to roll it out to the right, looking to throw downfield. And a high physical play on the football by St. Joe's. And right about the 35-ish yard line. And it was batted up and incomplete, so it's going to set up a 3rd down for the Cougars offensively. Ball still spotted at about the 20-yard line. A little over 2 minutes to play here in this game. Now in an obvious passing situation are the Cougars. Robinson low snap. He digs it out of the ground, pumps for a second. Pressure collapses, and he looks down the field. The pass is hauled in by Kamichek. Check that ball still at the 30-yard line now. So they get just enough to move the sticks. Now empty backfield for Robinson. Now the back comes back in. A lot of time for Robinson to let it rip down the middle of the field. And this pass is almost hauled in, but incomplete. So it's going to set up a 2nd down and 10 at the 30-yard line. Now Robinson in obvious pass situations, how does he look? We've seen a couple of turnovers on the game so far. He rolls it out to the right. He looks downfield, and that pass is hauled in down the far sideline. The big play that the Cougars need. A phenomenal connection there. And for one of the few times tonight we've seen this Cougars offense string together the big chunk play to get big-time yardage, and now they're driving. We've only seen them, deep inside the St. Joe's squad just once before this. And now as the clock ticking here in the 4th quarter, this could be their opportunity to strike. But the St. Joe's defensive front that has been really stout here up to this point throughout the first about 46 minutes of the game. You got to figure it would be very demoralizing for them to bend here. Timeout called, about 1:48 to play. Got to figure, Byron, to my point, you don't want to have a game be soured if you're St. Joe's by a score here from New Prairie.
Yeah, absolutely. St. Joe's is definitely going to have to hold it down right here. They're definitely going to have to come up with the stop and go ahead and get the win. If it were me out there on the field, I would tell them, like, hey, last drive, we just need one more stop, and the game is over. Let's everybody lock in, get it together, no more big plays, and just get it done.
And we've seen them offensively hem the New Prairie Cougars in a lot. We've seen a lot of, frustrated, rushed throws from Reed Robinson. We've seen, Zach Henrik has not really had the game that he had, obviously, last week. Nobody has. Coming off a week where they scored 56-0 here tonight, but a chance to kind of turn things around, and then the rest of the night, I don't want to say doesn't matter because the game would still potentially be tied, but you have a chance to strike here. Robinson, the snap, pumps, now throwing right sideline. This is where it is going to be tough for this St. Joe's team, and something that Byron mentioned earlier on the call. They appear to be gassed. A lot of these guys play both sides of the football, so it's going to be tough to see how they hold up as this quarter progresses and as we get down to the final minute plus here. Robinson, the snap, pressure comes. We've seen pressure all night long from St. Joe's. And now he's going to slide down and get up right to about the 15-yard line. 15, 16-yard line. We're going to see what the Cougars do offensively. An offense that really hasn't moved the ball well, obviously, all night long, but it's still, an opportunity here to strike. So timeout call at about the minute 28 mark. 7-0 St. Joe's on top. It's been a defensive masterclass for the Huskies, who are on the precipice of advancing to 2-1 and getting their first win in the Northern Indiana East-West Conference. If that score holds, New Prairie would drop to 3-1. After being spotless through their first 3 contests. Still, this one's not quite decided just yet. Scott is the back. Robinson the snap. Pressure comes. He gets hit and throws it out to the right and incomplete. So the pressure came on Robinson, a microcosm of the entire night for him. And what has just been a stout defensive performance from St. Joe's. And another crusher for this New Prairie Cougar offense. And it's just been an absolute dominant affair. As again, we see a stop. As they go into victory formation after the turnover on downs. And you got to feel real stoked if you're that St. Joe's squad. Coming into play against this New Prairie team, Class 4A team coming in with a 3-0 record, 55th ranked in the entire state of Indiana. In their home building, they're able to take this one, and in the fashion they're able to do it with a score of 7-0. Byron, a lot of times, nowadays in obviously the NFL or college football or even at the high school level, we see a lot of high flying scores, but this is kind of kicking it back to, old school football with this win here.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It was a game of defense. Who can stop who's going to crack first, and New Prairie cracked first, allowing a touchdown from St. Joe's earlier in the game, and St. Joe's just kept at it the entire time. Their defense did amazing.
And Noah Batsanzi's touchdown early in that second quarter ended up being the difference in this game. It felt like we stared at 7-0 pretty much all game long. And, it's just an absolute stunner, obviously, from this Cougar squad, who now falls to 3-1. The St. Joe's Huskies improved to 2-1. And, Byron, just touch on how big it is also, not just a road win, but also an in-conference win, and in the manner in which they did it.
Yeah, St. Joe's definitely should be feeling, really proud of themselves, players and the coaching staff alike. I think they did a really good job. Conference win and a win versus one of the best teams in that conference. St. Joe's was just 1-1, and then they were going up against a team who scored 126 points over their first few games, and they held them to none. So they definitely have a lot of momentum going into the next game, and they should be feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, they should be. And, coming in here on the road, obviously it's a tough game against a very, very good New Prairie team. But next week, the St. Joe's Huskies will also be on the road against Mishawaka Marion. Mishawaka Marion is also an in-conference game, as the New Prairie Cougars will also be on the road next week against South Bend Adams. So both of those games are in-conference matchups. But once again, the final score, the St. Joe's Huskies 7, the New Prairie Cougars 0. A defensive shutout, a defensive onslaught, a dominant defensive performance for the visiting Huskies here tonight in New Carlisle, Indiana. 7-0 the final score for the Huskies.